Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year, and welcome to the Mario Chaos and the Kid Show at Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling right here in the facility 2 days after Christmas. I'm Mario Mancini. I'm your co-host. I'm a former WWE wrestler and co-instructor at Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling, along with Pretty Paul Roma, Big Steve Tracy, and the man behind the glass producing the show, a 40-year veteran of the ring, Paul Perez. Seated to the extreme right of me is a man who 3 days ago chased Santa up the chimney. Why? Because he is the guardian of chaos. Big Daddy, the 2019 inductee into the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Big Daddy, how are the holidays?
Well, Mancini, I'm feeling very well. The holidays were tremendous. We're 2 days after Christmas, and we are headed into the new year. So I would like to say, first off, Happy New Year to all the podcasters out there, everybody listening to Mario Chaos Podcast featuring the Kid. And of course, behind the glass is my good friend, my dear friend, Mr. Paul Perez, second-generation grappler, coming to you live here at the Diadamo and Tracy Bail Bond studio at the Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling Training Facility. I feel a little out of sorts, Mancini, because we're here on a Thursday as opposed to a Tuesday. I feel like we haven't been here in weeks.
It does feel like a lengthy time, Big Daddy, those 2 extra days. Of course, we couldn't be here on Christmas Day. Although, Big Daddy, I think if we planned it, you would have been here on Christmas Day.
Well, Mancini, I'm not so sure about that. How were your holidays, Mancini?
They were good, Big Daddy. They were busy because I popped out a lot of cheesecakes, a couple of carrot cakes, an almond cake, and I made my own eggnog cake for my house, and I made a chocolate pecan pie. Or you might want to say chocolate pecan pie.
Well, Mancini, I know you are a master baker. A master baker. Not Matt. Listen, I don't want to get crazy. We're just starting off. What is this, episode 7, I believe, of Mario Chaos and the Kid podcast?
You got to watch out next time you order something from me, Big Daddy, with frosting.
Well, Mancini, let's not get crazy because you're a legend in Buffalo. I want to get a big shout out to our personal friend. We're on Stitcher. We're on B-Cast, B-Plus Player. Our good friend, Spreaker, SunCloud, iCloud. I don't give a damn what cloud. Mark Adam Haggerty. I did happen to text Haggerty. He's doing very well, and he sends his greetings and salutations. And if it wasn't for Haggerty, I don't know where the hell we'd be, stuck here at Paradise Alley. And seated to the left of me is an idealist. He doesn't know where he's going, but he's on his way. And that's the Kid. How you doing, Matt? How are your holidays, brother?
You're doing good. How was your holiday?
Well, as I say every week, and I'll say it again, I didn't have to jerk off the dog to feed the cat.
Good thing you didn't have to jerk off Santa either.
Well, I might have stroked once or twice, but we don't want to get too crazy. We got a lot of things going on here. Listen, folks, you can't expect too much from us. It's the show in between Christmas and New Year's. We got a lot going on. We have our year in review for Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling that's coming up. You fans are not going to want to miss this. We talk everything from pillar to post, wrestler of the year, match of the year. So, Kid, I want to bring this up while Mancini, I'm not quite sure what Mancini's doing over there. He's got more skid marks on the back of his Johnny shorts than a car wreck at the Indy 500. What are you doing, Mancini?
Roma's texting me.
Well, you know Roma, he's got his hands full.
Roma wasn't built in a day, you know what I mean?
Well, let me just tell you something. Roma is one tremendous athlete. Through the holidays, Mancini, I was listening to several shoot videos and doing a little research back on stuff that I already knew, a refresher, so to speak. And let me tell you something. Roma was unbelievable. He also worked with every star from pillar to post. His shoot interviews are second to none. If fans, you go to the Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling website, ParadiseAlleyProWrestling.com. You can get for only $9.99, Mancini, Roma's shoot video glorified. And let me just tell you, by listening to his other shoots, that's worth the price of admission alone. I mean, Roma doesn't pull any punches. He tells it like it is. Listen, he called out many, many people throughout his career, and they were man enough to, hash it out, whether it be Triple H, Shawn Michaels. You know why, Mancini?
Why?
Because Roma, like myself and yourself and Paul Perez and Big Steve Tracy, he doesn't give a fuck. That's why, Mancini.
And the kid does?
Well, kid, at 18, 19, whatever the fuck it is that you are right now, we have to keep it clean. Now, it's come to my attention that you were at Madison Square Garden last night.
I was not alone.
You were not alone. Well, I know it wasn't the girl from Rite Aid that you're trying to bang because you haven't gotten anywhere there yet either.
She wasn't working tonight.
Yeah, story of your life, kid. So tell me what it was like again. I'm very impressed with a guy your age that attends all these live events. I say it all the time. You're busier than a blow-up doll at a frat party. Again, not only at the Hammerstein Ballroom last weekend, you're at the Garden last night. Mm-hmm. Tell me what it's like, your live experience. Did you get to meet any of the stars? Did you get to talk to any of the media? Tell me what it was like last night at the Garden. And then Mancini. You know, Mancini wrestled in the Garden several times. Closest I ever got to the Garden was the bathroom. Security caught me masturbating, but that's another story for another time. Go ahead. Yeah. Tell me the live story, live event.
Yeah, it was a great show. I've been to probably like 10 or 11 shows there, but they're all great. Just the history of the Garden really makes the show than any other arena that WWE goes to perform. But I wish I went to one of your events there.
That was the Mecca, Mancini.
I was there the night. I was there the night that Hogan took the belt from the Sheik.
See, now that's
I
history.
wasn't there for that one.
No, you weren't there.
Well, no
that was
kidding.
January 1984.
I wasn't even a thought then.
Mancini, run down that night in 1984 because I remember it like yesterday.
Well, actually, it was 7 months before I turned pro.
Now, I've heard this story on other podcasts, but I want to hear it live because you have told me, but the fans may not have heard this.
Of course, Tony Altomar was my instructor, and he worked for the office. He talked just like Mickey. Didn't look a thing like him.
He really did talk like him.
I'm fortunate that Perez is here because he could validate everything for me.
Whoa. So I may have been there for a split second, but listen,
Conan?
of course, he was sitting in a chair right below the ring. What are you talking about?
All right.
Too.
All right.
Mancini, just because I didn't sign a goddamn
No,
contract.
Big Daddy, that's not what I'm saying.
You were constantly
I don't remember
bitch slapping me,
Altomar
putting me on a back burner, cutting me off. You know what? I'll never, ever get the credit, you son of a bitch.
All right.
You know what? Do you remember Bull Durham? Do you remember the Bull Durham movie?
I do.
Do you remember when Kevin Costner said to the umpire to get him thrown out, Crash Davis? What was that one word that got Kevin Costner, a.k.a. Crash Davis, in the movie Bull Durham, tossed out of the game? Do you remember?
Big Daddy, you know my memory.
Well,
so I will answer it by saying cocksucker.
That's what you are right now, Mancini, a cocksucker. That's right, I called you a cocksucker.
I forgot you met Altomar.
You forgot I was at the fucking school. You forgot that I met Tony and Robbie Altomar and everybody else that was there. I wasn't there just for one day, Mancini. I wasn't there for... And you know what else that burns my ass? Not only a flame about this high, Mancini, but you don't even remember the same show, the one show that we did together at the Westchester County Civic Center for Tony Capone and the NAWA.
I remember being with Alpha, Bundy, and San Martino.
But you don't remember Mark Thomas and the Guardian of Chaos. John Diamond, Tony DeVito, Primo Carnera.
No.
You know what? Then I take it back. You don't have the memory of an elephant.
No, I don't. I don't remember
everything
that.
You remember, but you can't remember me. You know what it is? This is the story of my life, Mancini. I am the most well-known unknown. And you know what? Let me just say this. And you know why you shouldn't make fun of a paleontologist, kid?
No.
Because you'll get your ass kicked.
I'll tell you what, though.
That's right, your ass kicked, Mancini.
I'll tell you what, though. I am in kind of a good mood because
Well, I'm not
my daughter's
anymore.
boyfriend bought me a new beard trimmer, and it has a nose hair remover, and I took that to my nose and my ears,
Ooh,
and I have no hair in my ears right now, and I'm very happy about that.
a little
But
manscaping.
Big Daddy, Tony Altomar worked for...
It's like, see, Pep, are you listening? We're tying this up. I interrupted him, but we're tying this up like a little bow. We're
Yeah,
back
Pep,
to
I'm
Tony-
getting back to the story. Don't
back
worry
to
about
Tony
it.
Altomar. Thank you.
All right, so don't yell at him, Pep. It's okay. I'm used to it. So, he worked for Titan Sports. Titan Sports was the WWF. So he looked at me and said, "Yeah, you want to take a ride to the?" There's a huge story, Big Daddy. Take a ride.
Oh, I'm listening, man.
You want to take a ride to the garden tonight? And I'm like, okay. So he goes, make sure you wear a suit, you know. I'm like, all right. So I was still 17. I wasn't even 18 yet, you know. So I was in the back, and he goes, there's going to be a melee after the Sheik match. I could go out there and help the Sheik back to the...
Now, this is 7 months before WrestleMania 1.
No, this is 7 months before I broke in.
Oh, before you broke in.
Yeah,
See,
WrestleMania.
kid, you paying attention?
WrestleMania 1 was April of '85. I broke in July of '84.
Okay.
So
Makes sense, Mancini.
So I ran out there after Hogan took the belt from him, and I put my arm around him and helped with the other guys bring him out. And Tony Altomar was out there too. However, we left the garden, and Tony Altomar used a payphone before we left the garden because there were no cell phones, kid, in '84. So he called he called his girlfriend in New Haven, and apparently the ex-husband showed up drunk to her house.
A little umbriaga.
Yes. So we left the garden at about 11 o'clock. I never got to New Haven so fast. I think we got to.
God bless you. God bless.
I think we got to New Haven at like 12:20, and Tony Altomar parked that big red 76 Eldorado convertible in front of her house and ran in there. Big Daddy, he came out at 3:30 in the morning with his hand over his mouth, sliding up both hands on his head, and came up to me in the car and said, "I forgot you were out here."
Wow, Mancini.
And he goes, "Hey, kid, why didn't you knock on the door?" I said, "It's none of my business. I figure you guys might have been fighting." "We were fighting, but, kid, you've been out here for 3 hours in a cold car." I go, "Well, I'm not that cold, but, you know, I was going to knock on the door." And my car was parked at Passerello's Quest, so he still had to drive me to Passerello's. I ended up getting home like at 4:30. However, Big Daddy, the first time I worked the garden, again, was asked, you know, "You want to go to the garden?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." You know the Boy Scout rule, Big Daddy.
Do you think Altamori was balls deep while you were out in the car?
You know, it might have been. But you know the Boy Scout rule in pro wrestling, and Perez knows it. And there's some guys our age to this day still have their bag in their trunk. You never go anywhere without your bag.
Of course, man.
Never go anywhere without your bag. I bet you Perez has his bag in his trunk. So
The only bag Perez has right now is between his legs.
Listen. So I go there, and I go in and out of the dressing room saying hello to the guys about 5 times. So I'm out near the curtain where the guys come out in the garden, and I look over my shoulder, and I see Altomar's arms waving, talking to Vince McMahon. And Vince has his arms folded, looking at him, you know, with this look of doubt. And Tony's arms are flopping, flying, and he's pointing at Vince, and he's talking to him. And then Vince nods his head. Okay. So he comes over to me, and he goes, "Get dressed." I go, "What?" He goes, "Get dressed. They're short. You got to work with Atlas." I go, "Huh?" He goes, "You got your stuff, right?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Get dressed." I couldn't find the dressing room.
That's a great Altamore impression.
I couldn't find the dressing room. He goes, you've been in and out of the fucking place 5 times. You can't find it. Now I go, where's the door? Where's the door? So, I tell my students there's only 2 times, and when I was with the WWF, I was there for 8 years. There were only 2 times I was nervous. That was my first match ever, and the first time I worked the Garden. And
well, that's the ultimate, Mancini, to work the Garden.
I went out, I left the dressing room, and I just looked forward, and I got into the ring, and Finkel looked at me, and he said, don't look up. He goes, just don't look up, because he saw I was shaking in my boots. He goes, don't look up. With the first thing he said, don't look up. What do you think I did?
You looked up,
immediately.
Of course.
I looked up immediately, and there were 22,000 people there, and it's funny though, Big Daddy. Once that bell rang, and and Perez probably has the same thing, and you probably have the same thing. That I'm very fortunate that when the bell rang and it came to the match, the place might as well have been empty because you just focus on what's inside of the ring. And
well, I can echo your sentiments in the times that I have gone to the ring. You're right. You're always a little bit nervous, and if you're not, well, then you shouldn't be in the business, although your comfort inside that nervability, if that's even a word.
Right.
But you're right. You come out, you could have family and friends out in the audience. You could have scouts. You could have Vince McMahon in the audience. But everything is blocked out because you have to perform.
Right.
So, yes, Mancini, but to be in the Garden.
But
Mancini,
that was the only time I was nervous, yeah.
So you're trying to tell me you weren't always, I don't want to use the word nervous. I want to use the word controlled energy, just like being in the prison. The fight or flight is what I'm talking about. In the prison system or when you're going to get into a brawl with someone or even any kind of confrontation, being able to control that like you do when you're in law enforcement or a first responder, like we've done our whole career. Wrestling can be akin to that. You didn't have that adrenaline.
No,
I know you must have.
No.
Because I did.
I mean, Perez was with me a lot, so in the WWF. So, we just kind of got dressed and walked around, looked up at the board.
Of course.
And bitched to each other who we had to put over because they were the shits and we were better wrestlers than they were, but we had to put them over, and then we come back and give each other a look, you know what I mean? Like, I had to put this guy over. You know what I mean? So, I was always excited to be there. There were a lot of times I'd ask Strongbow to put me on all 3 hours. I just like to wrestle, I just wanted to wrestle, It came down to the wrestling. Although later in my career, the wrestling got in the way because I started having a better time in the dressing room as I got more accepted.
Well, we don't want to talk about those, Mancini. I just saw a video of the purple helmet. Let's not talk what happens in the dressing room,
I ended up having a better time in the dressing room, but the wrestling actually started getting in the way. Where I'd have such a good time in the dressing room, it would be time for me to go out, and I'd go, don't move, I'll be right back,
Well, I can also agree with those sentiments, Mancini. I wasn't blessed and fortunate enough like yourself and Paul Perez to be in a WWE ring, but to be in the locker room with the likes of all the stars and the people that you saw and the people that you trained with and just the gentlemen of this industry.
Oh, absolutely.
That's worth anything.
Mario and Chaos, you're on the air. Mario Chaos.
We got a live call? Go ahead. You're live here at the Diadamo and Tracy bail bond studio. What can I do for you? Well, that's okay. It sounds like you got the brain of a dehydrated baby. Anyway, you pencil neck geek. What do you want? What do you got?
What's going on, guys? What are you doing over there?
Wait, Mancini. Who is that?
That is Big Steve.
Well, Steve, I didn't say that. I take it back. I didn't say a goddamn thing. How are you, sir? Good to see you. How's the wife? How's the family? Merry Christmas.
We're broadcasting from his studio, Big Daddy.
Why didn't you tell me it was the big heater? I would have never said that.
Well,
he's going to come down there and kick my ass now.
Well, listen, I had to set you up.
Yeah, well, you know what? Life is about ass. You're either covering it, laughing it off, kicking it, kissing it, busting it, or in my case, trying to get a piece of it. I think I said that once before. How are you, Big Steve?
All right, what's going on?
Well, say hello to the kid.
Who's the kid?
Well,
wait,
kid, that may be a sore subject because we have the original Kid on the line, if fans could hear him here in the podcast, and then we got the new aged Kid. Why don't you come on down, Big Steve? We can get jiggy with it in the ring.
What time are you guys there?
Until you shut off the lights.
We're here at least till 7:30, kid. All right, you got it.
Wow, Mancini.
This thing will get off the hook.
A live call-in for Big Steve Tracy. Listen, I want to say this to you, Matt. Kid, if you will. Big Steve Tracy is the original Kid. And at 6'8" and whatever he weighs, 380 pounds, he is the original, but you are the new aged Kid. I will say that. Did we ever finish with your experience on the live experience at the Garden? Vince was there last night, right?
He was there.
Tell me what happened when Vince came out, and then we're going to go to Paradise Alley, year in review. Tell the fans how the crowd at the Garden last night when Mr. McMahon came out.
The roof on that place just blew off. No one thought he'd be there because he never comes to usually live TV, but he is never at house shows. So him being there is shook up the place a little bit, but it was in a good way.
Let me tell you something. Vince McMahon and his father own Madison Square Garden, man. I mean, that's their home. That's the mecca of the business for them. He and his late father, you know.
Well, according to my best recollection, Mancini, I don't remember. Let's get on to the year in review 2018 as we approach 2019 in Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling. Mancini, we have a lot of awards to be handed out and discussed tonight. A lot of people have voted, the media, the referees, the talent themselves. There's a lot of people. We took an online poll, and I know when I say poll, Mancini gets very, very excited when I say the word poll. But we're going to keep it rated PG tonight for probably the first time.
No, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Well, Matt, I'm glad you're chiming in here. The Kid, if you will. We do have coming up, fans, next Friday night, January 11th, Friday night alley fights right here at the Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling Training Facility. Fans, it's only $5. It's a huge card on next Friday night. We're going to run over the matches. We ran over them last week. I'm going to quickly run them on before we get into the year in review, if you will. Coming up this Friday, it's the semifinals of the United States title tournament shot at Sergeant Murray, Kid, if he makes it, because he is set to face Showtime.
There's Friday Night Alley fights this Friday?
Next Friday, Mancini.
On the 11th.
January 11th.
That's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I said not this Friday. I said next Friday night.
It's still not next Friday. Next Friday's the 4th.
Oh, my God. Perez, why don't you slap me in the back of the head? All right, next Friday is what?
The 4th. Next Friday's
Mancini,
the 4th.
You were finally right, Mancini. You were finally right.
Well, you know what they say.
What do they say?
A dead clock is right twice a day.
Say that again.
A dead clock is right twice a day.
You wouldn't dare.
January 11th, fans. I stand corrected. That's why Mancini is the CEO. So January 11th, Friday Night Alley fights. It's only $5, folks. 8 p.m. bell time. Here are the matchups in the semifinals. Elijah Six against Ty Shine. King Nutrius X against the flamboyant one, Kenny Roberts. The House of Pain defends the tag team titles against the Filthy Family, which is Dirtbag Dan and Big Cal Stevens. And also, Showtime Marcel Williams, he turned on him a couple of weeks ago, faces the United States Heavyweight Champion Sergeant Murray. That's January 11th. What are you looking forward to on that one?
I'm looking forward to see if Marcel beats Sergeant Murray if he's driving the truck.
Mancini, is the Sarge still driving the truck?
I'm sorry, what are we talking about?
We're talking about Sergeant Murray against Showtime Marcel Williams.
I got a little diverted.
What were you looking at now, Mancini?
I'm not looking at anything, Big Daddy. I'm on the air here with you and the kid, Perez.
Well, unbelievable. Friday Night Alley fights.
Friday Night Alley fights, you have Sergeant Murray against Showtime Marcel Williams?
Correct. There's a lot of heat there, Mancini. A lot of heat.
Well, you know, Williams was the heavyweight champion, so, you know, I have to say about Showtime, I worked with Showtime in 2007.
Oh, he's a very savvy
Now
guy.
we're in 2007. Now we're going into 2019, and unfortunately, Sergeant Murray, he doesn't have those years of experience that Showtime has.
That's true.
As we would call Big Daddy, how do we say it?
A savvy veteran.
A savvy ring veteran.
A savvy ring veteran.
A savvy ring veteran.
Say it, kid. Say the savvy ring. Say it.
Savvy ring veteran. Say that.
Savvy ring veteran.
All right. There you got to get the kid in here now. So, believe it or not, Murray is a big man. But
Sarge is no one to be trifled with.
He's no one to be trifled with, and he's behind the bars.
Yes, he is.
But I'm
Would
gonna
that make Sergeant Murray, like myself, a cockologist?
Oh, you're a cockologist?
We talked about this last week.
Oh,
A kid pissed off or
is that
pissed on.
watching all those?
say that.
Listen, let's not go with the pissed off and pissed on
That's
again.
4 weeks in a row. What was your answer,
Listen,
Mancini?
Big Daddy, I'm into a lot of
Mancini.
shit, but I'd rather be pissed off than pissed. Listen, I won't do that. There's very little I won't do, but I won't do that.
Well, did Perez ever answer
I sound like
us?
Meatloaf, but I won't do that.
'Cause 2 out of 3
wrong
3
song, Big Daddy.
ain't
No,
bad.
wrong song.
I pissed on you, pissed on you.
Meatloaf never said I pissed on you. It's a wrong song, Big Daddy. 2 out of 3. I would do anything. I would do anything for love.
How you doing on that classic car karaoke videos, man? Kid, how many views does he have now?
I'm sure we've got over 400 now.
400. Last week we had 1.
What?
Hey, Perez, I never got your answer. Mancini, I say this every week. Can he hear me behind the glass? I think he can. Perez, did you say pissed off or pissed on? Oh, Perez went with. I don't know if his wife knows this, but he went pissed on.
You keep mentioning pissing. I'm going to have to take a break.
All right, listen. We're off the rails once again here on Mario Chaos.
Kind of like
and the
Ozzy
Kid.
Osbourne.
Well, Ozzy was quite the man.
On the crazy train.
We are on the crazy train, but you know what? I really want to get to this section because I have a lot of things. We're running short on time. Not that I really give a fuck. Anyway, let's go on to the 2018 year in review. These are categories that came up, Mancini. I need your input. The Kid was a part of this. Paul Perez, all the media, a lot of the workers were involved in this. Here are the year-end reviews and awards for Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling. First category is Tag Team of the Year. I will run through the nominations. Mancini and the Kid will give their opinions. Nominations for Tag Team of the Year.
You really think that's that hard, Big Daddy?
No, it's not, but this is what the fans said,
It's
Mancini.
unanimous.
It is unanimous. Go ahead.
It is unanimous, but I'm going to
to
tell you who was, listen, why are you guys doing this to me? Mancini, I'm just going with what the fans want.
Put your shirt back on, Big Daddy.
Well, I'm trying to. I got nipple rings. You notice the nipple rings I got here? Hard as little rocks. Anyway.
Little erasers.
Tag Team of the Year.
God.
The House of Pain, Filthy Family, The Pyramids of Power, Collusion, and Matthias De Napoli and Nutrius X. Those were the nominees. And Mancini, and we all agree on this one, tell the fans what you think of Tag Team of the Year because it's pretty unanimous.
It's the House of Pain.
Kid?
House of Pain.
Correct. It is Hakeem Ali, Nick Payne, and Big Daddy Dre, the House of Pain. They've been tag team champions for well over a year, but there were a lot of other good nominations in there. Filthy Family, they're going to be facing the House of Pain coming up at Alley Fights. I'm hoping for Matthias to come back because last show at the casino, Mohegan Sun, Matthias and Nutrius X were one hell of a tag team. And they were about ready to take this Paradise Alley by storm. I know a lot of fans have mentioned Big Jim Anderson and the Meadowlands Monster, but that's not even happening yet. We're not in 2019.
They are a force to be reckoned with.
Well, listen, Revelation is the name of that tag team. But I got to wait and see until Big Jim and the Meadowlands Monster show up here. Listen, I got a feeling they're going to make a huge impact. But Tag Team of the Year, is the Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the House of Pain.
We might not be saying that this time next year.
Well, Mancini, you could be right. There's no denying Nick and Hakeem are the best tag team in Paradise Alley right now, and for the last year, maybe for the last couple of years. So that's what the fans came up with, and the media and their peers. Next category, Mancini. Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling Wrestler of the Year.
Richard Holiday.
See, Mancini, you're onto something, and I'm going to have to concur with that. Kid, what is your choice?
You know I said Gibbs.
See, that's where we're going to have to differ here because there's been nominations. I'm going to have to agree, and most of the votes came in. For the consumers are buzzing. He's from the marketing department. He just signed with MLW. He's been on Monday Night Raw. The former champion, Richard Holiday, did win the Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling Wrestler of the Year. But
listen, there's no wrestler that I know of, except for Roma, that has come so far in such short a time. I mean, he signed a contract with MLW. He won that Super 8 trophy we got hanging.
He won the Spindle City Rumble,
at
correct?
The Diadamo and Tracy Bellbond studio here at Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling. The trophy is blaring in our faces right now.
Yes, the ECWA Super 8 trophy. Listen, that tournament was second to none. Mancini, I agree with you, but the peers, the media, and fans did have a second and third runner-up for Wrestler of the Year. Showtime Marcel Williams was mentioned with several votes, as was the Intercontinental Champion Zachariah Gibbs. Also, Nutrius X was in the category for Wrestler of the Year. So pretty good competition for Holiday. And fans, if you want to hear an excellent video from Richard Holiday, go to GoPro Wrestling on YouTube and go to their show Conversations. And Richard Holiday did an interview from East Haven High School that was very informative and eye-opening, and including Mancini, his heat at one time with none other than pretty Paul Roma. So that's it for Wrestler of the Year. So far we have, Kid, Tag Team of the Year is?
HOP.
Wrestler of the Year is?
Richard Holiday.
There you go, fans. But a lot of good, worthy competition in those categories as nominations. Here we go. Debut/newcomer of the year. Here are the nominations, Mancini. Dirtbag Dan. Adrian Vine. And the 7-foot-tall Meadowlands Monster as PAPW newcomer.
Well, I'm going to have to give that to the Meadowlands Monster. I mean, come on. Yeah, Dirtbag Dan was pretty damn close, though. I love the Dirtologist, but, you know, the Monster brings such a presence, and there are not a lot of 7-footers
that are that agile. He's very, very impressive.
Yeah, nimble, agile, and
mobile and hostile.
There you go,
Mancini, you're good, but you know what? Worthy. Ooh, I heard a little grunt there, Mancini. Listen, worthy competition. You could have very easily given it to Dirtbag Dan, as you said. And listen, AV is rising. Adrian Vine came into Paradise Alley in 2018 and made a huge impact, as did Sammy Diaz. So worthy nominations. So who would you say, Kid?
I have to go the same with Mario over here.
You're going to go with the 7-foot Meadowlands Monster. He did come in halfway through the year, but made a huge, huge impact. So fans, there were a lot of votes. It was close. We're going to go with the Meadowlands Monster as the debut of the year here in Paradise Alley. Next category, Mancini. Listen up. Most hated. And I don't like to use that word. Who gets the most heat in Paradise Alley professional wrestling? Mancini? Well, you heard what Paul Perez said. He said it in the earphones. He said it. What did he say?
Collusion.
So that would be Zafir Al-Rahihi and Maxim Morozov. What do you think, Mancini?
I believe so.
I think we're forgetting someone else there.
Well, go ahead, Kid.
Abdul Haq.
Well, Abdul Haq, listen, the pyramids of power have been bouncing all over the place. They've been a thorn in the side of Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling with Abdul Haq, Aladdin, and Allah Ding Ding. Hit it, Mancini. Shama-lama, Rama-lama,
ding dong. Hey, you put the ooh, ma, ma, back
into my small child. That is why we are the Scooby-Doo. Yeah. Oh, it's my man. Kid, you have no clue.
I have no idea what that was.
Did you see the legendary movie Animal House?
I did not.
You never saw Animal House?
I've never seen Animal House.
Man, see,
This kid's sheltered.
James Belushi.
No, John Belushi.
John, wait.
Oh, yeah.
James is his brother.
Are we back to Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams? I got it all fucked up last week. I said Gary Marshall was Penny Marshall's father. It's her brother. I said Cindy Williams, Cindy Penny, whatever the fuck I said
And
last
you
week.
said Kenny Rogers.
That was a couple of weeks ago. Listen, and I changed my vote after Pep and I watched the reruns over this past weekend. I would bang Laverne, not Squigmont. Laverne was cute, man. I got to tell you, I just wanted to get back on that subject and clear my name.
Big Daddy, Laverne had some...
She had nice eyes, man.
Laverne had some swank to her. You understand? She had that unspoken kind of,
Well,
Shirley was a little wrapped too tight with that boob. But you know what? Wouldn't it have been funny if Shirley stuffed in that boo-boo kitty was something that kind of ran with batteries and stuff and we didn't know?
Would that be the rabbit, Mancini? It's the number one seller in the world,
imagine
the rabbit.
If Shirley Feeney pulled a rabbit out of boo-boo kitty and Laverne was the boring one.
I find that hard to believe, Mancini.
I just find it hard, period.
Well, listen, again, so I change it.
Kid, you like that, kid? Listen, should we get back to wrestling?
Do you think the kid's mother owns the rabbit?
Oh, no, I won't go there. Don't talk about anybody's mother.
No, I'm talking about a bunny, Mancini. What do you think is wrong with me? My old lady listens to this show. I'm talking about a rabbit in a cage.
Listen.
It's not Stella got her groove back.
Well, a bunny, yeah. Maybe he does own a bunny, yeah.
All right, Mancini.
Just one dog.
One dog.
One dog.
Well, a dog's not a rabbit.
A dog's not a rabbit.
And
well, we're talking about pets.
Something like that. Anyway, let's get back.
I know the other thing you guys are talking about.
We are not talking. You have no idea.
You know what a rabbit is, but you never fucking watched Animal House.
How could that be that you didn't see? And I said James Belushi. I'm tying this up like a little bow.
It's John Belushi.
It's John Belushi. I know that. James Belushi had a great TV sitcom, though. He was also a legend. Did you ever see the movie? According to Jim, Perez is on the fucking ball. And Turner and Hooch.
Turner and Hooch was Tom Hanks.
That was Tom Hanks. Canine! Do you know that Pep actually cried during those movies? Because she's an animal advocate.
Well, listen, I cried during Turner and Hooch because, unlike Canine,
well, yes.
Hooch died. And when Tom Hanks cries, it just breaks your fucking heart.
Well, it certainly does, man. See, I like when you get a little piss and vinegar.
Well, listen, even on that Castaway when he lost Wilson, or when he was crying on the raft
now,
because
would
he lost
Wilson be the volleyball?
The volleyball, I was crying, because Big Daddy. Well, I don't want to get into that. So, who else is up for Wrestler of the Year?
We can get into whatever you want to get into, man.
Daddy, we don't want to get into what I'm into.
We were on the most hated category. We were talking
we
about
left
collusion. No, we didn't.
We left cockology.
That's right. We did leave Cockology 101. That class is over for this week. Thank you, Mancini. Fans, you can't see, but Mancini is literally pissing his pants right now. And I know we keep getting back to that kid. Most hated was Fear Al-Rahihi and Maxim Morozov collusion, also getting votes in that category. And he's all over these votes. The King of Paradise, Nutrius X. And also, surprisingly, probably because of what has happened, Showtime Marcel Williams, also in the most hated in Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling. I would have to go along with Perez and Mancini and say collusion. How about you, kid? X, Showtime Williams, collusion?
I'd have to go collusion as well.
Had
the biggest heat this year.
Now, do you think, Mancini, that collusion goes to the camel toe races? I'm just asking.
They might.
Kid, what are you laughing at when I say camel toe?
Because I know what camel toe is.
How about the little man in the canoe? Are you familiar with the little man in the canoe? Stroke!
This kid
Mancini,
does
break
not
it down.
know the little man in the canoe.
Mancini, break it down.
Wait, you want me on the show
to break down the little man in the canoe?
On the show, you want me to break down the little man in the canoe?
Yes, and then after that, we're going back to the year in review because we got match
Big
of
Daddy,
the year.
on this podcast,
Yes.
you want me to explain to this kid
Yes.
what the little man in the canoe is?
Well, Mancini, I want you to break it down.
Listen to me.
Perez,
All right.
Perez,
so,
are you listening?
So,
Folks, I'm sorry about this.
God, I'm trying to, if I can go back to law school and try to present this in a professor kind of way. All right, kid, you have the vagina, right?
Yeah.
Did you just say vagina?
And there are certain parts of the vagina, right? Well, there's a part called the clitoris,
Yeah.
right? So, if you got really close up to it,
Said, yeah.
if you got really close up to it and you spread it apart, it's a little circle with like a little piece of skin in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Some women have small ones. Some women have large ones.
Roma, this isn't me.
But if you spread it open, it's a circle with a little piece of skin in it. It looks like a guy in a canoe.
Stroke!
It looks like a little man in a boat.
You ever seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
No.
No? Oh, okay. So you won't understand.
Well, Mancini, there's a thin line between genius and insanity, and I think we've just erased it. Kid, how did you like the breakdown of? Are you sorry you asked about the little kid, the little man in the canoe?
I didn't know what that meant, but I know the other stuff he was talking about.
Oh my God! Well, kid, listen, you just got back from Florida. You go to UB or UQ. Where do you go to school? UNH?
UB.
UB? Well, that's
University
right.
of Burgers.
University of Burgers. Speaking of University of Burgers, how are the guys?
They're doing great.
The cream team, as Mancini calls them, at Open Table Sports Podcast on YouTube.
We're spread out everywhere. We got LJ in Florida, me, Angelo, and Antonio are up here. We got Dominic in New Jersey. So
Who the fuck is Angelo?
Angelo.
Mancini, who names, what was it? I thought it was Angelo.
It's Angelo, and he's very adamant about that. So don't call him Angelo.
Listen, I will say one thing. Angelo has nice hair. But listen, now that we got off the rails on the X-rated version, and I just want to make it crystal clear to Roma, my old lady, and everybody else that it wasn't me that explained that story. Anyway, Mancini is absent right now. I'm not quite sure where he went, but Perez is telling us to keep on schedule. We're going to go with Rookie of the Year. We got to wrap this up. Mancini, were you looking at the little man in the canoe in there? Well, Mancini, we're back onto Rookie of the Year.
All this talk, Big Daddy, I had to go and, So
Take matters into your own hands.
Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year. Here we go.
It has to be Zachariah Gibbs.
Well, Mancini, he was Rookie of the Year last year. I know some fans and media did put him. What the hell was that, Mancini? What do you got, Ajita? What the hell was that? What'd you have? A little linguine, a mofango? What? Holy Christ. Here we are. Rookie of the Year, Zachariah Gibbs. In my mind, Perez made a valid point. I happen to agree with him, kid. You tell me. Gibbs, although young, can't be considered Rookie of the Year anymore, I would think. He was Rookie of the Year last year, even though he's still new. He's come a long way. I disagree with that, but we did have votes for Gibbs. Here's the other nominees for Rookie of the Year. Zachariah Gibbs, obviously, we just discussed that. Big Cal Stevens from the Filthy Family. Flash Waller, right here from Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling. And we did have a half a vote for Tavius the Intellectual.
Half a
I
vote.
have to say, Big
Well, because he
Daddy,
was sweeping the ring at Dieselmania.
have
You just
to
see the
say-
picture of Tavius sweeping
I
the
have
ring.
to say that it's got to go to Gibbs because he was here a year long. Those other guys kind of came the last quarter of the year. You know what I mean?
But Mancini, now Gibbs, he's in his second year of competing. Am I
Well, if we're
correct?
talking for the
2017
year,
Well,
Well, go ahead.
he's in his second year of competing. He's 16.
Yeah, I would consider to other workers like Flash and Tavius and Big Cal, I would consider Zach Gibbs to be a little more savvy, a little more trained, especially by Roma, than I would the rest of those guys. And what do you think, kid? Would you still give it to Gibbs?
You can't pick someone who was there for not even half a year.
All right, well,
Because it's for 2018.
Well, listen, these are not my votes, fans. These are votes from the media, from the front office, from the workers themselves. So this is a combination. Perez, if you can hear me, what is your opinion of Rookie of the Year? Would you still go with Gibbs? All right, see, now Perez is a WWF
You
veteran.
hear what he said?
He said no on Gibbs. Who would you go with? See, now I like that. Now, Perez makes a valid point. He brings up the Meadowlands Monster as Rookie of the Year here in Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling. Now, that's a valid point. I would think he would be more of a newcomer because I think the Meadowlands Monster has been around for a little while here in the Northeast. I think he's out of New Jersey, but it's still a valid point. So if we counted up the votes, I guess we're going to still have to go with Zachariah Gibbs, although I don't necessarily agree with it. We don't have enough of them. So that's Rookie of the Year, Mancini. Next, we have the biggest award. So far we've gone through Tag Team of the Year, Wrestler of the Year, Debut Newcomer of the Year, Most Hated. Here's the next one. It's not the biggest one, but here's the next one before we get on to the big one. Comeback Wrestler of the Year in Paradise Alley. This is a wide open category. I had about 15 different people come back on votes that I saw. Kid, comeback grappler in Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling.
Come back.
Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. I was wrong, but I just can't live without you. Not bad, huh, Mancini?
It's pretty good, Big Daddy.
Kid, what do you got?
You guys should go into a singing competition.
Oh, we might. Listen, we're taking this podcast on the road. Fans, this is breaking news for some time in 2019. You will be able, whether it be at the Holiday Inn, Denny's, bar, restaurant, we are available for bookings, birthday parties, professional wrestling events, conventions. Mario Chaos podcast featuring the Kid with producer Paul Perez are available for live bookings. No price too big, no fee too small, no cock too big, no... I didn't mean to say that one, but anyway, that's the breaking news. We will be going on the road in 2019, so come back.
Too bad we already missed Christmas.
That's okay, kid. This is a 2019 venture. Like, if you fans out there watch Brockmire with Hank Azaria on FX, the TV series Brockmire, he had a podcast, took it on the road. That's what we're doing, kid. We're going on the road.
Going on the road?
On the road.
How far are we going on the road?
Well, we'll probably stay in the greater New England area. Mario's setting it up. He's the booker. But again, comeback wrestler of the year, Mancini. I'll give you the nominees. Believe it or not, we had several votes for Big Steve Tracy because of his appearance at Dieselmania and taking it to the Meadowlands Monster's ass. Steve was unbelievable in that.
He was great in that match.
Listen, I had a lot of votes for Big Steve as comeback wrestler of the year. Kenny Roberts, who was here last week, the Chocolate Dusty Rhodes. He's been on a roll. I'll give him credit. He's been winning a lot of matches. Also, Sergeant Murray for holding on to the U.S. title for almost a year. A lot of folks have said, and there were a lot of votes for Showtime Marcel Williams. But Marcel Williams, I don't agree with that because he didn't go anywhere. Where did he go to be comeback wrestler? He's been a star and a staple here in Paradise Alley. And in the last one, because of his, and I have to agree with this, because of his shape and who he is and the legend that he is, and his two unbelievable matches against Ty Shine and Matt Stryker at Mohegan Sun Casino, a lot of fans said pretty Paul Roma. Mancini, give me your vote. Those are the nominees for comeback.
I have to tell you, since I was in there, I was, the last four people in there, and I watched Big Steve and he did more than I did. I mean, I told him in the dressing room, I said, you did more than I did.
Listen, he threw out about a half dozen workers.
I didn't even do as much as you. Not only that, he charged people in the corner. He punching the hell out of them. I'd have to give it to Big Steve.
I have to go Big Steve as well. He was running the show in that match, I have to say.
Well, listen, I would normally say Big Steve also because he had such an impact on the company. But there's some worthy nominees, and I'm going to go to Perez because he's the part of the brass here. Perez, comeback grappler of the year. If you can hear me, say it in the phones. Perez, now there it is. That's got to be
I'd say Big Steve Tracy is the
that's about
comeback
35
wrestler.
votes right now. So fans, we're going to go with it. Big Steve Tracy, comeback wrestler of the year because of his impact on Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling. Listen, you could have very easily given it to Roma. His match against Matt Stryker. And that's what we're getting on to next, fans. We're getting on to the biggest category of the year. And it's Match of the Year at Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling. This might take up a little bit of time. Mr. Perez, where are we on time? Excellent. We're excellent. We are right on time. Here are the nominees for Match of the Year in Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling. A lot of matches came in. A lot of votes came in. Richard Holiday versus J.T. Dunn. I'm going to read them out. Adrian Vine versus Nutrius X. Sammy Diaz and Adrian Vine. Richard Holiday and Saivi Al-Sabah. Showtime Marcel Williams against Mick Drake. Zachariah Gibbs pinning Mario Mancini at the casino. Paul Roma versus Matt Stryker from the casino show. The second one, Crazy Eights. One of my personal favorites, the House of Pain against the Super Savages. Matthias and Nutrius X against Insanely Rude. The House of Pain against Mick Drake and Tyler Vincent at the casino. Showtime Marcel Williams and Sammy Diaz. And also from Crazy Eights with the Platinum Honeys. It looks like 2 dinner rolls from behind Mancini. The most marketable man in the wrestling. Richard Holiday against Uncle Jesse. A.G. Anthony Green. Those are the nominees for Match of the Year in Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling 2018. I'm going to hand it over to Mancini, then the Kid, and I'm actually going to shut the fuck up for about 30 seconds. Go ahead, Mancini. Match of the Year. Listen, Holiday was in a lot of them. Showtime was in a lot of them. HOP was in a few of them. Listen, AV. What do you think, Mancini? What stands out?
Holiday and Anthony Green.
Listen, that was from Crazy Eights up at the Mohegan Sun Casino. That was an amazing match. Holiday and Anthony Green. Anthony Green, I hope, comes back to Paradise Alley, not only for the dual dinner rolls, but for AG himself as an unbelievable worker. I would have to agree that's one of the top matches, Holiday and Anthony Green from the casino. Kid, a comment on a couple of the different matches that were nominees for Match of the Year.
I have to go Holiday and Dunn on that one. Seeing that one in person, and I was actually in the hallway when they were working that match beforehand, but they performed that match really well, and they work well with each other.
So you're talking about, right, Richard Holiday against J.D. Dunn. That was Dieselmania 3.
Dieselmania.
Listen, that was an unbelievable match. Hey, listen, J.T. Dunn, why this guy isn't in Ring of Honor, Impact, NXT, Pro Wrestling Savior. You're right. Holiday has had some unbelievable matches in 2018. This is why he became Wrestler of the Year. Worthy contenders, though. Roma versus Stryker at the casino, I thought was an incredible, from a psychology standpoint.
It was entertaining.
It was very entertaining, right? It couldn't have, maybe not Match of the Year, but the psychology and the entertainment part of it. Listen, 2 legends, Mancini. Perez, what would yours, out of those matches, I'll run them down again, give me your top Match of the Year. A lot of votes came in, Mancini. I had over 150 votes on Match of the Year. Right. Perez says it correctly. Friday Night Alley Fights, Adrian Vine and Nutrius X was an unbelievable match. There are a lot of matches that people that go to the bigger events from Paradise Alley, if they don't come down to Friday Night Alley Fights where we do a lot of our scouting, there's been a lot of great matches at Friday Night Alley Fights. Fans, it's coming up January 11th in 2 weeks. I stand corrected. And I want to mention this also. Mancini, you fucking pissed me off. You know that? Boy, this kid is something, man. He's falling asleep. He's playing with his pecker. He's doing everything that he can. He's showing a porno video. I saw the purple helmet like 15 times. It looks like the number 2 pencil. I don't know what the hell he's doing. The kid's laughing. Anyway, I want to just mention a couple of events coming up. We have some huge events. We didn't get a chance to really talk about Ring of Honor or Impact because, listen, Impact has a huge show coming up next weekend, or actually in 2 weeks, I believe. Impact
right?
Homecoming.
So,
fans, we'll be talking about Homecoming at Impact, but I want to talk about January 25th. Free for all. Friday Night Alley Fights. Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling, free for all. January 25th, fans, come down. It's free admission. Mancini, did I tell you I was president of the NRA club?
No, you never told me that, Big Daddy.
It's not National Rifle Association. That's never refuse anything. And that's what's happening here on January 25th for free for all.
Because the day after.
Break that one down. January 26, 2019. What is the day after free for all here at Paradise Alley?
That is Joseph A. Malillo Middle School. A 7 o'clock bell time.
7 o'clock.
January 26th. Paradise Alley will be in East Haven.
For retribution.
Yeah.
Mancini.
67 Hudson Street, East Haven.
Now, let me ask you a quick question, because you know you can't get anything out of Roma. It's like trying to open up 15 clams. Is there any potential lineup or stars that have been announced? Listen, I know we have January 11th, the semifinals of the United States Championship Tournament. I know we have January 25th, the free-for-all here at Paradise Alley. The 26th, is there any talent for January 26th in retribution?
Big Daddy, currently, before the show started, I called a person to have that is interested in having a show in upstate Connecticut. I am in the middle of cutting a deal to go to Seymour to have a show there.
Well, hold on, Mancini. Now, when you say Seymour, I just got finished reading a book. Are you familiar with this book, Mancini? It's called Glass Bikini by Seymour Hare. Are you familiar with that?
I am not.
So go ahead, Mancini. It's a good book.
So what I'm trying to say is that's my job at Paradise Alley. And the talent in the matches are Mr. Roma. So I have no clue. I can tell you that the roster from Paradise Alley, House of Pain, Gibbs, Big Jim just got released from the doctor.
I can't wait to see Big Jim Anderson's return, Mancini.
Jim Anderson will be there. You know, Mr. Williams, Marcel Williams.
He may be the United States champion by then.
You know, Ralph Murray will be there.
Sarge!
Other than that.
Wait, hold on. I want to ask you this question because I haven't seen him, Mancini. I'm starting to get worried. Where has the Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Mick Drake, the Dagger, been?
Well, he's been around the country, so I'm trying to get him for February and March because I have dates set for those months, but I don't have locations, so I don't want to give that up yet, Big Daddy. Although I know you like it being kept in the loop.
Well, I do like to be kept in the loop, and I did hear something about the venue up in the All-American Valley, which would be Shelton, Derby, Ansonia, Naugatuck, Oxford, and Seymour. Is the venue, the classic historical venue, been confirmed, Mancini? Because I don't want to let it out yet because it'll be an unbelievable coup.
It is not.
It's not confirmed. That's the one thing that I could say about Paradise Alley is that we get some venues that are second to none. We've been in some very impressive venues, especially the Mohegan Sun Casino, which at that time, we were the only company in the Eastern Seaboard running the Mohegan Sun Casino, kid. You know that, right?
I did not know that.
Anyway, Mancini, this is what we have coming up, folks, here from the Diadamo and Tracy Bale Bond studio here at the Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling Training Facility. Remember, we will be here live next week for the Mario Chaos and the Kid podcast. I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. No drinking and driving. Stay safe. Don't forget January 11th, Friday Night Alley Fights. It's going to be a big event down here at the facility. January 25th, free for all fans. That's our payback to the fans of Paradise Alley. That's like our Fan Appreciation Day on the 25th. And then like Mancini said, January 26th at Malillo Middle School here in East Haven. Retribution. Matt, the kid, if you will, Mario, take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a happy and safe New Year. If you drink and drive, you're a jabroni.
Go ahead, kid.
Thank you guys for listening. We'll be bringing more in the new year.
Perez, you're the man. We'll see you later, fans.